Hi there, Nate here. I just wanted to briefly drop in before you listen to MJ's character introduction. Basically, the reason for me being here is just to let you know that after we recorded what you're about to hear, I sat down with MJ and talked about his character a little bit more, and we decided that probably, realistically, the class that he'd chosen wasn't the best for the rest of the character, and that he should probably pivot to something else. So we decided to keep what we've recorded because you'll get an honest reaction from me for the rest of it. But just be warned that the class that you're about to hear in his introduction changes before we get to the main game. You can hear more details. I'm not going to spoil it, but you can hear the details of that in our session 0. And then obviously once we start playing the game, you'll hopefully pick up from there what class he's gone for. But yes, everything else remained the same. Just the class changed, and that's about it. So, without further ado, let me hand over to me and MJ. Hello there, player. What is your name?
My name's MJ.
Hello, MJ. My name's Nathan. We know each other. There's no need for us to be.
Yeah, I know who you are.
There's no need for us to be that formal. But hello, MJ. How are you? Are you well? Do I meet you well?
Yeah, very much so. I'm delighted to see you visually and also hear your voice.
Good. Those are the two components that you're after. Good. Excellent. I'm also happy to see you and hear your audio. All things are good. All good.
Thank you.
All good things. You are obviously MJ, but what else are you known as?
So my other given name is Quinch, the Bringer of Omens.
Okay, Quinch. And how are we spelling Quinch out of interest?
Quinch.
Bringer of Omens.
The Bringer of Omens, yes.
Interesting. So presumably your character, from a name like that, Omens obviously suggests something's about to happen. Your character brings the things that suggest something's going to happen.
That's exactly right, yeah. My character has quite the reputation, which started off in the lightest and grandest of fashions, but his taste for violence quickly spiraled out of control, and he has now somewhat of a reputation.
Interesting. Okay, we'll get into that in a second. Quinch, Bringer of Omens. What race are we talking? What we chain?
I am a half Dragonborn, half human.
So basically a Dragonborn.
Yeah, basically Dragonborn. I want to be a lizard type person.
Well, I think we'll find the half human is probably just slightly less dragony in appearance.
Exactly. Yeah, I haven't got wings or a tail.
Why did you want to be half human?
I wanted to be a bit more on the I wanted to be slightly more anthropomorphic than a Dragonborn is.
Fair enough. That's absolutely fine. I didn't want to probe you on it too much until we had this chat, but I have been curious as to why you've taken a humanoid dragon character,
yeah,
and then said, but I want it to be half human because it already is.
Just a bit more relatable, isn't it?
Fair enough. It is a little bit more relatable than a Dragonborn Bringer of Omens, I guess. Yeah, you're probably not wrong with that. Does Quinch have any physical attributes, or is there anything about Quinch that sets him apart visually? I assume Quinch is a he. I think you probably already have said that.
Yeah. Quinch is a he. He identifies as a he. But he absolutely doesn't mind if people identify as otherwise. He's quite fluid in that regard. He will, he will be happy to service anyone or thing in any which way.
Oh, interesting.
He has got a greenish teal sort of skin tone, and as is somewhat implied by his name or tagline, the Bringer of Omens. This is a person who has seen a lot of things. So he is, his skin is not untouched, violently or otherwise.
His skin is not untouched.
Yeah, his skin is not untouched.
So that means his skin is touched.
His skin is heavily touched, and is frequently.
His entire skin is touched. What colour did you say he was? Blue?
Greenish teal.
Greenish
Greeny turquoise.
teal. So would I therefore assume that you are going down the green dragon route, Dragonborn route with the poison breath?
Absolutely.
Is that the first time you're hearing this, or?
Do you know what? I actually have heard that just a long time ago, and that must have planted in my mind, and now I'm re-remembering it, and
Right.
I'm obviously very happy with that.
Yeah, so you might want to look at this, but every Dragonborn, depending on the colour, their draconic ancestry has a different fire breath, essentially. So assuming you're going for green, I don't think there isn't a teal.
If
So
poison's on the
green's
table, poison's going to be taken.
Yeah. So their damage type is poison, and his breath will be out in a 15-foot cone. And also that would also give him resistance to poison damage as well, I believe.
Incredible.
So that's pretty cool. So that's what he looks like. That's his general stature. Is he quite a big? I assume he's a big old boy, is he, or is he?
Yeah, big old boy. Old boy. 7 foot.
7 foot. Oh, that is a big old boy.
Beastly.
Oh, no, almost no human in that respect, really. So that's what he is. But who is he? Tell me about his class. What class is he?
So he's actually a monk.
Oh.
He's a monk because whilst he is an expert fighter, he also considers himself somewhat of a tactician, but also somewhat spiritual. So he, when he places a blow, he means for it to hit, and he means for it to hit strategically rather than using his admittedly very massive muscles.
Mm. As opposed to, say, other combatants who, when they strike, they don't always mean to hit.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just want to miss.
It's like very much like the famous phrase "shoot to miss." I think it is. I've only ever seen it written down on blotched ink.
No, absolutely. Everyone at home has absolutely heard of that before this miniature little podcast. A little bit behind the curtains. I think we all were quite surprised that you chose monk for your character. I think we all really expected you to go down the fighter route. What was it? What made you, MJ, not the character? What made you decide that monk was for you?
Well, if anyone is familiar with the story of Dyson Desire, we have played sort of a practice run. We played the Way Veko Cave scenario, and I was a fighter in that. And I wanted to. I like the sort of pure fighting style and roleplay of it, but I didn't want to repeat it. I wanted to do something slightly different, and also wanted to choose a class which I felt gave my character a little bit more flavour.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that's fair. I think not that I've experienced too much in the way of fighter characters, but they do somewhat come across as a little, maybe not bland, but they seem to be more. If you want to play an attack provoked class, then it feels like fighters quite, and there's more interesting routes, even if it's just barbarian or something like that, which obviously is difficult for you to play a barbarian when we already have one in the group. So that's quite cool.
Essentially, I was playing on easy, and I've just shifted it up to moderate.
Yeah, I think this will be interesting because I don't know how much research you've done into the monk leveling, etc. But it seems a relatively more complicated character build than a fighter. There seems to be a little bit more going on. There seems to be things like key points and stuff like that you have to think about, etc., etc. So it'll be interesting to play that, I guess, from your perspective and try something a little bit different. One thing, did you ever consider whether a Dragonborn and a monk would be a suitable partnership?
Somewhat irrelevant. Quinch is quite the bold character, and he has made quite the name for himself. He's not the kind of person that will be held by any mold, or he breaks free of the mold. He's a mold breaker, if you will. He's different. He's also not a loner, but he's a lonesman.
Lonesman. Interesting. He's a bringer of omens and a breaker of molds.
Correct.
Because again, not necessarily. It's not a path that's always very well travelled. I understand that the Dragonborn monk. So it will be. I think for you to say that you've gone moderate is an interesting use of words for your difficulty when it's supposedly you've gone parallel. No, that's wrong. But you've gone at the wrong ends of the spectrum in terms of who you should play into if you wanted to play them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you, MJ, can't make it work and make Quinch a bloody great character. I'm sure everyone at home is going to want to hear just what Quinch does in the monk world.
Sure they will.
They will. Magic item. I tasked you and the rest of the team with starting the game with a magic item. What did you pick and why did you pick it?
So I literally went for the first thing on the list. I didn't choose it because it was the first thing on the list. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that sounds sick. That's going to take some beating. Went for everything else. And there was one or two things that sounded alright, but this one sounded fully up my armour. Fully up my armour. Fully up my alley. Fully up my armour alley. Well, it is an armour.
Yep.
It's adamantine armour, or adamantine armour, however it's pronounced. It says this suit of armour is reinforced with adamantine, one of the hardest substances in existence. While you're wearing it, any critical hit against you becomes a normal hit. So I think the heartbreak of being attacked with a critical hit is so strong that being able to just take that pain and heartbreak out of my life is of great positivity to me.
Interesting. Okie dokie. That's fine. Fully entitled to that. That's good. That is gonna help you defensively wise. I mean, monks again, characters not necessarily known for their armor. In fact, monks do have unarmored defense, meaning that you're when you're wearing no armor and not wearing a shield, your AC is actually boosted, so you actually have a better AC without armor potentially. But equally, like you say, it does at least eliminate the worry of a critical hit against you. Fair enough. Interesting choice. I've said this on some of the others. It's interesting to hear you guys go for your magic items and hearing what it is that makes you pick certain ones. So fair play. Also, adamantine makes you sound like you're Logan. I'm sure that would be absolutely nothing to do with why you chose it.
Listen, there are great side effects of choosing this item, and I won't divulge what they are to me.
Right. Okay. Excellent.
Let's just say schnicked.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Schnicked, Miss Moneypenny.
You've alluded to it briefly. Give us a bit of background for Quinch. Where's he come from? What's he been doing with his life? Why does he love violence so much?
I've actually prepared a short speech by Quinch. I'd like to read it. This will give a flavour for my character and also give me a chance to practice his voice, which I've not done at length yet.
This is interesting. I was going to ask if I don't think I've asked others if they're doing a voice, so it's good to know that you are.
Oh, there's absolutely going to be a voice. Yeah, it's whether I can. The voice is subject to change, but this is what I prepared. My birth name is Quinch Fellborn. My birth town was Serenity Spring. My people believe not in only one parent, and instead it is the job of the townsfolk to raise all children. This instilled in me a great sense of pride, of right and wrong. When I was old enough to leave town, I joined a band of scantily clad do-gooders. We would travel from settling to settling, spreading joy and doing errands. Quickly my name brought with it the whispers of legend. I became known as Quinch the Kind, but perhaps this moniker was bestowed upon me in haste. I later became known as Quinch the Beloved, Quinch the Betrayer, Quinch the Hated, Quinch the Fearsome, and most recently Quinch the Bringer of Omens. I now travel the world in search of evil, punishing where punishment is required, and killing where death is a worthy cost. If your conscience is not clear and you happen to see me, you can be sure I'm not there by a coincidence. That is the omen, and that is what I bring. I also like collecting coloured gems of various magical interest. So yeah, Quinch looks upon himself as very violent, but considered judge, jury, and executioner.
Interesting. Can you just run through the nicknames of Quinch there again, please? Quinch the Kind.
Be happy to, yeah. So he started off as Quinch the Kind, going around helping people, spreading joy. It's what he was all about. Coming from Serenity Spring, that alone brings some prestige with it. People know the people of Serenity Spring are kind and wonderful people. One thing led to another, that the world is tough outside of Serenity Spring, and he became love for him grew. He became Quinch the Beloved, and then that was when life got a little bit tough on poor old Quinch. He became Quinch the Betrayer, and then Quinch the Hated, then Quinch the Fearsome, and now what he is now, Quinch the Bringer of Omens.
Interesting. Be curious to know what is his alignment. Is he chaotic? Is he lawful? Is he neutral?
Probably chaotic. Can you be chaotic neutral?
I think you can. I think it's usually like I think chaos. The chaotic part of it will be how his actions are, but neutral in terms of he's not necessarily a good person, but not necessarily an evil person.
Yeah, chaotic neutral. He does bad things, but ultimately it may be for the good. May.
Interesting. Do you think the rest of the group will like Quinch?
I think they will find him a little bit abrasive.
Okay. Good. And you've come off.
They will save him in a pinch. Sorry, he will save them in a pinch.
But also, hopefully, they'll save him in a pinch. That would probably be helpful to you.
Yeah.
Because you've obviously coming back to the Wave Echo. I think you've mispronounced
the
it.
Wave.
Yeah. Lost Minds of Phandalin. Yeah. Phandelver. You obviously played a character there that was possibly not the most popular in the group. So it's interesting that you've gone for one who may also not necessarily be the most popular in the group.
Yes, I think people don't always like it when I run in. However, yeah, Quinch will strive to be a little bit more considered.
Interesting. Cool stuff.
But if Quinch feels that the party is dragging their heels, Quinch will be more than happy to run in as well.
Or Dragon.
Oh!
Yeah.
He's Dragonborn.
That's right, and half human. Lovely. I think that's given everyone at home at least a droplet of flavour of Quinch, what he is and what he's going to be all about. He will be interesting, I think. Definitely, I would say a mishmash of a character in terms of
very much
a lot of things going on there. So it'll be interesting. Last thing that we've got to do, Michael, MJ, if you will. I'm using your real name. I do apologise.
Sorry.
Last thing that we've got to do is we've got to do some rolling. We're going to rolling. First of all, you'll need to put that dice down and pick up a D6, 4D6 instead.
Good thing I brought my dice bag.
It is, yeah.
4D6.
For the listeners, MJ held up 1D20, which would have been...
Right, we're going to go pretty abstract here. So I'm actually going to go 4 different types of dice.
Oh?
They're all D6.
Yeah, that helps.
I've got a curved edge, 2 straight edges, and then a micro.
Oh, good stuff. You're making really making it more difficult.
Yeah, I have a lot of D20. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what. Let's go. No.
Use the micro, mate.
No, this one's got slightly curved. That's going to be a little bit easier.
Right. Okay. Lovely noise. What I'm going to be asking you to do is I'm going to be asking you to roll all 4 D6s 6 times. Okay.
Wow.
And we're going to be noting these down. But each time you're going to be essentially throwing away or ignoring the lowest number of the 4. The remaining 3 numbers will give you a total, and that total will be your figures for your skills. What I've been giving everyone the opportunity to do, however, is if any of your totals are 7 or less, you can re-roll any of those dice. But for each dice that you re-roll, you have to lose a point off of one of your other scores. Get it? If you're happy to re-roll, one. Let's say you get a 7, so it's at the whatever. You could re-roll one of your lowest ones, which I think statistically has to be a 1. You could re-roll one of your ones, and it might give you a 4, but you'll have to lose a point off of one of your other scores. Okay. But you may not need it. You might not. If everything is 8 and above, we don't play out that scenario. So let's just see if that happens or not. Okay. So your first roll, please.
Okay. Wow, that is remarkable. 4 6s. No, it is actually a very good roll. I got 3 5s.
Nice. And what was the other one?
3.
3. Okay, so that's a 15. It's not a bad little off the bat.
Good start.
Roll.
Great start, to be honest.
It is worth noting to the listeners, I am trusting MJ with all his rolls, as I have trusted everyone else with their rolls.
Yeah, I did show on webcam as well, just to verify. Roll again.
Yep, that's fine.
That's quite remarkable. 4 6s. No, not as good this time. Not bad though. Let's see. My lowest is a 2, and I've got 13 otherwise. A 6, a 4, and a 3. In fact, I've got 2, 3, 4. Oh, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Not too shabby at all. Let us go for our third roll, please.
Third roll. I hope I'm not rolling the dice too close to the mic and it's painful for any listeners.
Well, they can.
Oh, that one's worse. 8, 9, 10. 10. Oh, so I've rolled a 1, so we get rid of the 1. So I've got 2 4s and a 2, so 10.
2 4s, yeah, that's 10. It's not too shabby.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, quite happy with that. Okay. No 1.
Yep.
Rolling now, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't think you needed me to tell you when to roll. Sorry, I apologise. No. Honestly, if you want me to.
Oh, this one's looking worse. One fell off the table. Oh, this one's awful. Yeah, this was bad. I've rolled 2 1s, a 2, and a 4.
So what was that? 2 1s.
That is 7. 2 1s,
4,
a 2, and a
2,
4.
6, 7. Okay, so we've got a 7. Okay, so that might be a reroll. We'll see in a second.
Yeah.
What is your 5th roll, please?
5th roll. Oh, okay, 6, 4, and 2 2s, so 12.
12. Okay. And your final roll, please.
Come on, let's go for 3 6s. Oh. Got 2 6s. Oh shit, 2 6s. 2 6s, a 3, and a 1. So 12, 15.
15. Okie dokie.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
So that's not too bad. That's not too bad. So for your reference point, a 15 gives you a +2 on one of your scores. Being a monk, I'm not too familiar with monks. Let's see what you'd want a monk to essentially be strong in. I suspect probably dexterity because of their attacks. Maybe constitution. Let's have a quick look.
Yeah, I confess I've not seen if there's like core stats for a monk. Is that a thing? Is that
there will always be their strong points and their not. So yeah, I think probably dexterity and strength are probably where you're going to want to be looking at. But you can look at that afterwards. I'm not going to make you choose where to put these numbers right now.
Okay, cool.
Last thing I need you to do then is decide whether you want to re-roll your 7 or not.
So could you just run through what I got? All the totals.
Yeah. Okay. So you've got 2 15s.
2 15s.
2 15s, a 13.
13.
And a 12.
12.
10 and 7.
10 and 7. So I can knock. So for example, I could take the 13 down to a 12 and re-roll.
Yes, you could re-roll 1 dice, which would be your 1, I would imagine, that you got.
Yeah.
But you have to take the pick. So if you re-roll another 1, you're in exactly the same position as you are. Yeah. But you also lost 1 off of your 13. Yeah.
I'm a gambling man, and I
think it's worthwhile. I think that you've got a 5 in 6 chance of at least improving on that 1.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for the re-roll.
Okay.
Here we go. Right, so I'm re-rolling the 1, and here we go. 2.
So you've bumped your 7 up to an 8, which is fine.
Lovely.
But you need to lose a point off on it. I won't ask you now to choose which one to lose your point off of. You can go away and decide whether it's the 15, the 13, or whatever. Okay. You just need to lose 1 point off of any of those.
Cool.
I mean, if you want to re-roll the other one, you got 2 ones, didn't you?
No. Yeah, I did, but no, I'm all right.
Sure.
Frankly, what's life without a little bit of challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what your dump would be on a monk. We can discuss that off air. Possibly your dump stat. So essentially your stat that you don't care too much about.
Lingo. Bit of jargon.
I suspect it might be intelligence. I think monks will probably be high on wisdom. There's people listening at home that probably are telling me that I'm talking out of my backside. It's worth remembering I'm a fairly new DM. So yeah, thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.
That is not a bad little runner score. I don't think that's a terrible lot. Obviously, your rate's there, not great, but
yeah. Anyone rolled better than that?
You'll find out, I guess, when these all air. But yes, there's definitely 1 or 2that have probably done better than you, arguably.
I mean, I think I got some great rolls there. 2 15s is like really good.
Yeah. Oh, it's not bad. I don't think your roll was bad in the slightest. I think you got a nice lot of rolls there. I think you'll be fine, mate. I think you'll be fine. I think Quinch will be, like you say, Quinch is a fighter. He's a monk technically, but Quinch is somebody who's gonna, when his back's against the wall, he's gonna dig in and he's gonna breathe that. What fire is he gonna breathe in them?
Poison breath.
Poison breath. That's correct.
Did someone roll 3 6s then?
No one rolled 3 6s. No.
Okay, phew, because that would have made me fumingly jealous.
Yet.
Wow. Mike's left to go.
Yeah, we still have 1 left to record, so who knows what he does.
Lovely.
Excellent. All right, thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you. I look forward to starting.
Absolutely, we all are. We're all itching to go. We're all itching to get into some of that Storm King's thunder. And cool. Yeah, great. That is exactly what thunder sounds like. Thank you for listening at home. I don't know why I'm saying this because there'll be another one straight after this. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button on your favourite podcast app to ensure you don't miss any future instalments of Dice and Desire. And in the meantime, if you want to interact with us, come and find us on Twitter and Instagram @Dice and Desire.